This is Group 4's film analysis for Management 4520, and we will be analyzing the movie Home. These are some fun facts on the movie Home. It was released in theaters on March 27, 2015. It is loosely based on a children's book called The True Meaning of Smack Day by Adam Rex in 2007. Famous singer/actress Rihanna landed her first animation role in the movie Home. She voiced the leading young girl Gratitude Tip Tucci, and it is a DreamWorks animation film, making it its 31st feature. Plot summary. The Boov is an alien race that has not inhabited a permanent home planet because they are being hunted down by their alien nemesis, the Gorg. As an attempt to hide from the Gorg and gain a permanent home, the Boov rely on their toxic leader, Captain Smek, who declares planet Earth as their new home. The main character, O, and his Boov race invade planet Earth and relocate humans to other parts of the planet against their will. As a result of their invasion, they rename Earth to Smekland and change Earth's gravity, the order of human life, and the residents who will be living in the human homes. Unlike his other members in the Boop community, the main character, O, is a curious and free-spirited personality. Being very excited about his new home, O decided to make an invitation to host a housewarming party to make friends and celebrate their newfound planet. Unfortunately for O, he accidentally sent out the invitation to everyone in space, including their alien nemesis, the Gorg. Captain Smek and the Boo freak out and attempt to erase O for making too many mistakes. However, O escapes and becomes a wanted fugitive. His attempt to escape leads him to a gas station where he meets a sassy little girl that doesn't trust Boos named Tip and her cat Pig. Tip is a desperate, smart, stubborn, and spontaneous little girl that wants to reunite with her mom ever since the alien invasion took her away. From fear and desperation of escaping, O tells Tip that he knows where her mom is and that he can take her to that destination. Throughout this adventure, Tip befriends O, and O comes to the realization that his leader was wrong about a lot of things. Tip, not knowing that O is a fugitive, and that he holds the knowledge of Earth's future once the Gorg arrives, is a secret that complicates their relationship and adventure. The DreamWorks animation Home explores the main theme of empathy. Additionally, it also explores themes of friendship, impacts of toxic leadership, and the impacts of colonization.
The main protagonist in the movie Home is a quirky and lovable alien named O. O is from the Booth species, and he caused trouble within the species due to him being clumsy. O's role in this movie was not only to help Tip, but it was also to correct his mistakes within his species. His key traits transition from being socially awkward and clumsy into learning courage and friendship. O helps drive the plot of the movie by conflict, which leads him to meeting Tip, creating an alliance with Tip, and finding a resolution at the end of the movie. The representing themes of this movie that O fits into is belonging, friendship, acceptance, and growth, and bravery and courage. The co-protagonist of this movie was named Tip. She was a human girl who meets O and was in search for her mother. She was a big part of O's character development within this movie. Throughout the movie, she acted as foil to O, was the bridge between species, and was the driving action for and change. Some of her key traits were determination, compassion, bravery, and loyalty. Her role when it comes to the resolution of the movie was breaking down barriers, encouraging heroism, uniting family and species, and defeating the Gorg. Some of the relevant characters within this movie was Captain Smek, Lucy Tusi, Cow, Pig, and the Gorg commander. Captain Smek was an arrogant, cowardly, and self-centered leader. He led the Booth invasion of Earth. Lucy Tusi was the main reason of Tip's journey. Kyle was a police officer in the Booth species. He was initially loyal to Smek, but he eventually exposed Smek's failings. Pig was Tip's pet cat and companion. His role was to serve comedic relief and emotional support to Tip during her journey. The Gorg Commander was the primary external threat to the Booth and Earth.
Moving on, I'll be discussing here the leadership theories in the film. More specifically for this slide in particular, we'll be going over theory X versus theory Y. Just as a reminder for everyone, theory X and theory Y are two contrasting management theories that describe how managers slash leaders view their employees slash followers and how they motivate them. So, for example, in the case for theory X, managers believe their employees lack creativity or any real will to do their work, and thus they need the constant supervision from them because otherwise the workers will not be doing their work. In the case of theory Y, it is the total opposite. The managers do not believe that they need to be doing constant supervision, and they try to motivate their team to do their work at their own leisure for the most of the time. So here, for example, Captain Smek leans more into the theory ed side because his leadership style is highly controlling, based on his belief that the booth needs strict direction and constant guidance to avoid mistakes and danger. His reliance on running away and the shusher exemplifies theory eds, as he assumes his followers lack the drive and intelligence to act independently. Here we have a quote to back up that. What has you done? What is that thing? Smek questions O's actions, not out of curiosity, but with suspicion and fear, reinforcing his lack of confidence in his team to act competently without his explicit control. And meanwhile, in the side of O, who is more leaning into theory Y, demonstrates demonstrates this by believing in collaboration and personal growth. He respects Tip's bravery and intelligence, supporting her plan and gradually working together towards the shared goals. O's eventual leadership is more participative and trusting, indicating his belief that others are capable and responsible. So here we have another quote to back that up. She is brave and smart and cares about other human persons. This quote it comes from the nearly the end of the film where everyone is about to put O as their leader because O starts to recognize the values that the Tip's strengths and learns from her example, showing his beliefs in others' potential and contributions. So now to move on. We have here examples of leadership. So in this case, we have uh, Tip's leadership, which is a situational leadership. She falls more into the S3 participating leadership section. And why is that, you may ask? That is because Tip frequently uses encouragement and emotional support to empower O, helping him believe in himself and take actions where he wouldn't have otherwise. So, for example, she is very adapting to how she approaches all the circumstances, whether to motivate O to confirm his fears or devise escape plans again. She takes initiative, especially in crisis situations, showing that resilience and problem-solving skills. And meanwhile, O has a more development as a leader. Initially, he's very uncertain and has a very low self-esteem and confidence in himself, and usually just tends to follow. However, he grows into a leadership role by choosing courage over fear, embodying an inspiring example that even the rest of the booths start to follow. His approach is inclusive and respecting, because he is respecting Tip's input and adjusting based on her needs. Here we have another quote. This is from Tip. You were awesome. We're gonna find my mom. You're gonna show everybody the server chip and be a big hero. Here, Tip is building O's confidence, emphasizing his value and capability as a hero and eventual leader. So now to move on, we'll be discussing here the toxic leadership. Captain Smek exhibits toxic leadership through manipulation and deception, enforcing strict obedience and using fear to control the booth for his own gain. This is known as pseudo-transformational leadership. His behaviors, such as lying about the shusher and insisting on fleeing from the danger, this causes low morale, fear, and even anger amongst his followers. Ultimately, his toxic leadership style leads to mistrusts, and he pretty much loses his authority over others when O and Kyle realize they need more courageous and honest leader, not someone that will just run away and be proud about that. Here we have a few other quotes to support this claim. Here he talks about, "I have the shusher. I am your captain." He uses the shusher as a tool of coercion to silence and maintain his authority. And when I say silence, literally silence, because Captain Smek will hit the rest of the boobs in the head with him to make them shut up, and he can speak up. This shows his belief in controlling others through fear and punishment rather than inspiring cooperation or trust. And then, no, he cannot be captain. I have the shusher. I am captain. Smek equates leadership with his possession of a symbolic object, the shusher in this case, not with actual qualities of a good leader. He sees authority as something to be enforced rather than earned, and is able to get away with it because the rest of the booth are very susceptible followers. And we can see that thing about the susceptible followers because we have the toxic triangle here. Uh, we have toxic leaders, susceptible followers, and a conducive environment. It's all a triangle that, without real intervention from the outside, will not really break because Captain Smek um, keeps getting the rest of the booths into trouble. The booths, out of fear from that cause environment, they will follow the toxic leader because they really have no other choice, as they don't have that that thing to think for themselves at the moment. Captain Smek constantly uses a forcing conflict style. He prioritizes his own objectives and his own well-being over the needs or ideas of others, and capitalizes over the fear of the rest of the booths. His primary goal is self-preservation. He forces others to follow his runaway strategy, dismissing any other perspectives, because there's this part very funny of the film that he goes, "Everyone get away, I have a baby," and he's pretty much lying. He's just saying that so he has a priority over the rest of the booths running away. Using coercive power to keep the booth in line, relying on the shusher, a tool he claims gives him the ultimate control and authority. For instance, when U suggests a different approach to the Gorg threat, Smek shushes him and insists on his own plan without listening. And here we have another example. "I saw who did that. I hold grudges, you know." Smek tendencies to punish those who oppose him again or step out of the line, creating an environment where followers only follow him because out of fear for getting hit with the shusher. And now I'll be passing on the following to my partners.
Hello, my name is Luis Muratalla, and I will be going over the slide's recommendations for a toxic leader and the supporting research. The toxic leader in question is Captain Smek, and one recommendation I will give him is to cultivate a positive organizational culture that values respect, collaboration, and open communication. During the movie, we could see how Captain Smek continuously shushes the boobs and punishes anyone who goes against with what he says. This creates a toxic environment amongst his followers because they don't really respect Captain Smek. They mostly follow him because of fear, and this leads to having barriers for the development of the boof species. Another recommendation I will give Captain Smek is to have a formal process for reporting toxic behavior and taking appropriate disciplinary action. This is because for every mistake a boof makes, Captain Smek wants to erase them to ensure that it does not happen again. He does not give second chances because the probability of making another mistake is too risky. Mistakes is what makes people grow and evolve. So instead of punishing for the mistakes that the booth make, Captain Smack should consider turning those mistakes into lessons in which they could learn from. This is why the Boob are not able to progress as an individual and as a whole. Another recommendation that I will give Captain Smack is to demonstrate the behaviors and attitudes you expect from your team. Show integrity, transparency, and fairness in your actions. So during the whole movie, we could see how Captain Smack continuously shows aggressive behavior by hitting the boobs with a shusher. And you could also witness how he talks down on those who do not comply with his ideologies. At the end of the movie, Captain Smack talks down on O to make himself seem more superior. Since the boobs seen a glimpse of an evolved O, they all go against Captain Smack, and Captain Smack did not like the way he was being treated in the end, but in reality, that's how he was treating all the other boobs. So these recommendations, I feel like, could convert Captain Smack into a better leader. Okay, now for the supporting research, I put as many as 56% of employees presently work for a toxic CEO whose behavior fosters an unhealthy work environment. In this case, the employees will be the booth species, and the CEO would be Captain Smek. So this shows that Captain Smek fosters an unhealthy work environment. An unhealthy group of species. And we could see this because all the boobs are scared to speak up. They don't want to participate in anything other than what Captain Smek has to say. Another supporting research I have is that leaders' display of toxic behavior have a significant and profoundly negative impact on the organizational learning and performance of their organizations. We see this throughout the whole movie, how Captain Smek feels like he knows everything, he wants to be in control of everything. So that hinders the species to learning new things. It hinders them from growing as an individual to do more than what they're just supposed to be doing. Another one is when employees' feelings of self-worth are attacked, their self-confidence as well as the individual performance will decrease. So the constant attacking of Captain Smek towards the booth species hinders their self-confidence into doing something other than what they are being told. They are only there to comply with what Captain Smek says, and everything Captain Smek says is what goes on with everybody. And it doesn't matter if someone else has a different idea, no one speaks up because they're afraid that they might get attacked again in front of everybody. And lastly, I put toxic leadership as one of the potential antecedents of increased turnover and tension, employee dissatisfaction, lack of commitment, and psychological stresses. I included this because in the end of the movie, we could see how when all the boob species realize that it's possible for the boobs to evolve, and they see this through what O has gone through, then they notice that they were not satisfied with Captain Smek anymore. So they stopped committing to him and wanted O to be their leader. And in the movie, they say O says that he's not fit to be a leader because he makes too many mistakes. And even after that, the boob species still wants to follow him because of what he is and how he does it, not just being a toxic leader like Captain Smek. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ximena Garcia, and my set of slides will be discussing themes of morality and ethics. Starting off with how the boob are a highly cautious species that avoid other species in order to protect themselves. This can be seen with their decision to relocate all of the humans to the continent of Australia in order to get the rest of the planet Earth all for themselves. Once O meets Tip, the girl who has been separated from her mother, he is faced with a choice to help her, which goes against his species' values, although it is for his own benefit, as he is now a fugitive and searched by his fellow boob for endangering the species and their new planet. O's intentions weren't so benevolent to begin with, as he was planning to trick Tip into taking him to Antarctica, but he then develops a change of heart as their friendship and care for each other grows. Moving on to ethical dilemma, I will be playing a clip that displays O's change of heart.
Boob on this ship, and you know who it is, you're looking at him. I invented running away, and look at this. I have the shusher. I am your captain.
But you are not good, Captain.
What?
You told us these things, and we all believed them. I believed them. But then I met a humans person. And she is not like you said. She is brave and smart and cares about other humans persons in a way that we boov do not even care about each other. She even cares about me. And I've done very little to earn that. The boov may be superior in many ways.
Yeah?
But not in the ways that I now think are most important.
Oh, big deal. I have had enough.
An ethical dilemma that is displayed is the reflection of O moving from self-centered actions that only benefited him to selfless ones like helping his friend Tip. O goes from wanting to trick Tip into taking him to Antarctica so he could successfully escape from the boobs erasing him to feeling compassion about Tip and her mom's forced relocation. O's selfish actions may have not been entirely his fault, as his actions are no different from Captain Smeg's and the rest of the Boob Society. For example, they carelessly and forcefully relocated the humans for their own comfort. So why would O have to put Tip first when all he's been taught is to put himself over the humans? In the clip provided, O points out that the traits that humans and Tip have, these being bravery, intelligence, and caring, he does this to prove to the boobs that humans are not at all what Smeg told them they were, and that boobs should even learn from them. Moving on to diffusion of responsibility. The boob are known for being a leader-centric society, and this affects their collective decision-making because they follow Captain Smeg's orders without a question. I believe that the boob giving all authority to Captain Smeg is an example of diffusion of responsibility, because they are allowing Smeg to invade Earth without any regard to the responsibility and negative consequences it may have for the humans. They rely on their assumption that Smeg knows best without considering any ethical consequences of their collective actions. I will be now playing these clips to further enhance your understanding.
Do not party.
Also, this planet is inhabited, but do not worry. The native savages are simple and backwards.
Oh, they are so ugly. They are cute.
Everything you need to know about them can be found in these comprehensive pamphlets.
They are lucky the boov have come.
All right, Boov, invade on 3. 1, 2, 3.
If you got troubles, let 'em go. Let 'em soar so high.
Rejoice, humans people, the Boov are arrived. Now we are turning off your gravity temporarily so as to make your mandatory relocation easier and more fun. So, what is up? You are...
Monday morning, shoot up like a rocket, yeah, the sun is shining. Keep it in my pocket, got this golden feeling. Never gonna stop, it just goes on and on. Keep moving, join the celebration of the music.
You'll never catch me! Enjoy you.
In this next clip that I'm about to play, you can see O seeing firsthand the impact the mandatory relocation had on a human.
Mo, don't you get it? You ruined everything. I was finally happy here. There, where I lived. With my mom. Do you know how hard it was for me to fit in? How long that took? Seventh grade girls are mean!
Yes, I seized that! I did not realize! We will resume the finding of my mom.
Stop saying that! She's just my mom. Not yours, mine. How do you not understand this? How would you feel if some horrible aliens took your mother from you?
That could not happen. Boov are not having my moms.
Boov don't have families. Huh. No wonder you take things and don't care about anybody else.
Moving on to justification of unethical behavior. A great example for this would be how Captain Smack justifies his lies about the grog and even uses fear to control the Boov by appointing himself as their savior and protector. What they don't know is that he only does this to keep his power over them. He justifies this by telling them that they need to keep moving planets in order to stay safe and by exaggerating his bravery to look like the hero that saved the Boov by running away from Grog. When O confronted him about his leadership skills, which consist of running away and shushing the Boov, his only excuse was to display the mentioned skills and use the shushing device as a proof of his bravery. This shows that leaders can twist the truth in order to make their unethical behavior seem acceptable.
O's need to fit in is what caused his behavior throughout the entire film. He desperately wanted to be liked and included by his fellow Boov, who largely shunned him because of his clumsiness and tendencies to make mistakes. This need for connection drives many of his actions throughout the film. In the attempt to fit in, O tries to participate in Boov culture and plans a housewarming party to make friends. Due to him being overenthusiastic, this leads him to accidentally send an invitation to the entire galaxy. This alerts the Gorg of where the Boov is. This simple mistake makes him a fugitive among his people and prompt him to flee the Earth. If he did not make that simple mistake, that would not have led him to meeting Tip, who helped him with his character development throughout the movie. On his journey with Tip, he learns that the true acceptance does not come from trying to fit in, but from being authentic and selfless. By the end of the movie, O's bravery helped save the Earth from the Gorg. This earned him the admiration of the Boov and the friendship of Tip. His actions to correct his mistakes ultimately fulfills his needs for belonging in a meaningful and heartfelt way.